In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to work with lists, sets, and tuples, and I'm going to show you their differences as well as their use cases. So a list is a collection of items. Let's say you have a shopping list, and you have apple, banana, and coconut. We're going to print out our shopping list. And here you see apple, banana, and coconut. If you just want to get one of the items, let's say you want to get banana, then you need to know the indexes of a list. So like strings, the first index is always a 0, this is index 1, and this is index 2. So you can see that there is an order to it. We're going to get our banana and type in shopping list at index 1. And there you go. Not only do we get our list, but also our banana. We're going to type in the function type. And this will give you the difference between shopping list alone and then shopping list at index 1. So we run the file, and as you can see, the first one is a list. But the second one, once we access an index, you can see that banana is a string. So that's why here it says string. What happens if we try to access an element that is not inside the list? So let's say we want to access index 3, but it is obvious that there is no index 3. So if that's the case, we're going to get an error saying that list index is out of range. That basically means we're accessing an index that doesn't exist. One way to fix this error is simply to add another element. Let's say we add durian, so durian will be at index 3. However, this is too easy, and I want to show you a more standard way to do this by using a method called append. So if I do shopping list.append durian, then this basically puts the word durian at the end of the list. So let's run this program, and as you can see, when we print out our shopping list, it will have durian, and also we get the item from index 3, and it will also be durian. So instead of adding at the end of the list, is it possible to add it in the middle of the list or at a certain index? And the answer is, of course. That method will be called insert. So let's say we want to insert the word durian at index 1. So we will put 1 and then durian. So when we print this out, you can see that durian gets put in the second place. And the second place would be index 1. And so this is index 0, this is index 1, this is index 2, and this is index 3. The opposite to insert is remove. So let's say we want to remove banana. All we have to do is type shopping list.remove and banana. So now you see that our list only has apple and coconut. A similar method to remove is pop. So if you just do pop, it basically just gets the last element inside the list. So let's say we pop and we store an item. Now what is the last element inside the list? We're going to print out the item. And when we run it, you can see that coconut is no longer inside the list, and we know that the last element is coconut. You can also use pop to get a specific index. So let's say you just want the element at index 1. So this should technically remove banana. And as you can see, indeed that banana is no longer inside the list, and we know that our item here at index 1 is banana. So up to this point, you know how to add an element, you know how to remove an element, but do we know how to change an element or edit it? So let's say we want to change banana to something else. We can do shopping list at index 1 is equal to coconut. Now that we run it, we see that coconut is indeed at index 1, and you can see that it is okay to have duplicates inside a list. If you want to clear your entire list, you can do shopping list.clear, and your list should turn up empty. So the brackets like this indicates that there are no elements inside the list. So we have been working with strings inside a list so far, but did you know that we can also have numbers and other variable types? So let's say here we have a list of numbers, 4, 2, 6, and 7, and their respective indexes. But you can also add in other data types like true and false, and you can, let's say you add a string apple. But for the sake of this example, let's just keep it with numbers. If you want to sort a list of numbers, you can use the sort method. So numbers.sort. And as you can see, now we have 2, 4, 6, and 7. What if you want to reverse the list? The method will simply be reverse. And when you run it, you should get 7, 6, 2, and 4. Now, I'm going to show you how to add two lists together. So if you want to add numbers and shopping lists, then the concatenation symbol is simply the plus sign. So numbers plus shopping list, and the result should be 4267, as well as the rest of our shopping list. You can also store your result inside a new list. So we will create a new list L, and L equals to numbers plus shopping list. And when you print out L, you will get the exact same result. Another useful feature of lists is that you can check to see if something exists inside a list or not. So let's say you want to check to see if banana exists inside the list shopping, right? So it will be banana in shopping list. And then let's say we also want to check if coconut is inside the shopping list. Now the first one will obviously return true, and the second one will return false. Let's change it up a bit. Let's say now you want to ask Python, is coconut not inside the shopping list? And the syntax for that would simply be not in shopping list. And now both of these will print out true. And of course, when we run it, we get true and true. Let's sum up what we just covered with list. So list is a collection of items, and it has an order to it because you have the indexes like this. And you can also change an element, you can remove or add an element, and that's what I mean by changeable. And a list can also contain duplicates. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to sets and how it is different from list. So here we have a shopping list like last time. We have apple, banana, citrus, and durian. But as you may notice, this currently is a list. So if you want to convert this into a set, then just change the brackets into curly brackets. And you print out in the same way, just use print shopping. Now, when it prints out, you can see that it retains the curly brackets. And this indicates that it is a set. So one of the differences between a set and a list is that a list is ordered. It has indexes, but a set does not have an order, so it does not have indexes. This means that if you try to access an element, let's say at index 0, then this will give you an error because, like I said before, a set does not have indexes. So let's run this. And as you can see, it gives you an error. However, because sets do not have an order, it is way faster than lists when it comes to membership checking. So what this means is if you want to check and see if banana is inside our set, then this is a lot faster using sets than if you were to use list. Because if you use a list, then Python has to worry about the order. If we were to run this command, it will output a true. To add elements to our set, we use the add method. So shopping.add, let's say we want to add eggplant, and then print out our set. You can now see eggplant inside our set. And let's take a look at this. We have apple, banana, citrus, and durian, but the order here is all over the place. And this is one of the things that make a set different from a list. The opposite to add is remove. So now let's say we want to remove banana. And just like a list, it will remove it from our collection and you no longer see banana. So what happens when you try to add a duplicate into our set? Well, let's test it out. So we want to add citrus. When we run this program, you can see that even though we added another citrus, there is only one citrus inside our set. And this is different from a list because in a list, it would add another citrus at the end of the list. This is actually a very powerful feature if you want to ensure that your collection does not have a duplicate. And also, if you want to check if a list has a duplicate, then all you have to do is convert it into a set and then check both of their length. If they have the same length, then it means there are no duplicates. But if the lengths are different, then there certainly is a duplicate. In fact, let's test it out because this was actually one of my homework questions back in first year. So here we have a shopping list, and you can see that this bracket means a list. So we're going to print out the shopping list as well as its length. And to convert a list into a set, just use the set method. So now we have a shopping set from our shopping list. We're going to print out our shopping set as well as its length. Now you can see that our list has 4 elements, whereas our set now only has 3 elements. So indeed, sets can be very useful. And at this point, you should know that a collection of items can be of any data type. So even for a set, it can contain numbers, strings, and booleans just like lists, and you will see that it is also the case for tuples. So that's basically it for sets. You use a set when the order of your items don't matter. As well, you want to eliminate duplicates inside your collection. The final collection that we're going to talk about today is a tuple. At the moment, we have a list of apple, banana, and citrus. But if you want to convert this to a tuple, you have to use the parentheses. And similar to a list, a tuple has an order. So we now have the indexes back. This will be 0, 1, and 2. So let's print it. So once we print shopping, we should get apple, banana, and citrus, and you can see that these are parentheses. Because we now have indexes, this means we can now access each item based on the index. So let's say we want item from index 0, then we will have apple. As you can see, duplicates are allowed. So let's say we add in another item called banana, and this will be index 3, and we print out our shopping tuple. Now you see that we have apple, banana, citrus, and banana. So duplicates are okay. But the one difference between a tuple and a list is that it is not changeable. So this means you can't do something like this. You cannot do shopping at index 0 is equal to, let's say, something else like coconut. You cannot change the element because it is unchangeable. You cannot also add elements to the list. So you cannot do something like shopping.add. Right? This will not work, and you cannot remove as well. So this is a very important distinction between a tuple and a list. The real question here is, why is there a need for tuples? In one case scenario, you might have a list of colors, and let's say the list only has red, blue, and yellow. So if you use a list, then somebody else can add into the list, they can remove and change in the list. But if you don't want anyone to change it, then you have to use a tuple. So I hope you enjoy my explanation about the differences between a list, a set, and a tuple, and when to use each one of them. In the next video, I will show you how to use for loops.